21 Sports brings you Great Plains Athletic Conference College Football. Today it's the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves hosting the Chargers of BRIAR Cliff. This game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. Use LES to save more. Union Bank. You belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University, where academics are only the beginning.
Nebraska Wesleyan is coming off of back-to-back wins and will look to make it a trifecta today as they take on another GPAC opponent in the Chargers of BRIAR Cliff. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Able Stadium. I'm Jeff Moats along with Lucas Mormon. And Lucas, the Prairie Wolves offense, they've been a little bit less than stellar lately. There are some signs of improvement, though. However, the defense has really stepped up and been getting it done.
That's right, and it all starts up front for Nebraska Wesleyan. Junior defensive lineman Russell Walton proved that he's a premier lineman in the GPAC. He had 11 tackles, team high last week, including 2 sacks, one of them coming on a crucial fourth down play in the final drive of the game. He's just one ingredient of this Prairie Wolf defense that's really been the strong and the backbone of this team. They have limited their last 2 opponents to only 207 yards on the ground.
We now bring in our third member of the broadcast team today, and that's John Thayer. And John's got some good news about the Prairie Wolf backfield. John?
The Nebraska Wesleyan ground attack was held to 48 yards last week in a win over Concordia. They hope to get that running game going this week against a BRIAR Cliff defense that ranks last in the Great Plains Athletic Conference in total defense and rushing defense. And they have their top 2 running backs completely healthy for the first time this year since the opening game of the season. Sophomore Dustin Bryant and junior Jordan Delbaugh both saw playing time last week against the Concordia Bulldogs, but this week the 2 are completely healthy. Bryant suffered a broken collarbone in the first half of the opening game of the season at St. Mary. He's worked his way back, and he got playing time 2 weeks ago when the Prairie Wolves hosted Thorpe College. Delbaugh, on the other hand, he suffered an ankle injury in game number 2 of the season. He finally saw some action last week against Concordia, and he'll be back at it again this week here against BRIAR Cliff. So the 2 are completely healthy, and Bryant and Delbaugh, for the first time since the opening game of the season, head coach Bryant Keller hopes that this running back combination, the 1-2 punch, can provide a spark that this rushing attack has lacked through many of its games this season. Guys, back to you.
And John, thank you for that report. Lucas, when we talk about BRIAR Cliff, this is a team that has really struggled this year. They are second to last in the GPAC for scoring points per game, just over 17 points per contest. They are last in the conference in allowing points per game at a little more than 31. Think about this too, Lucas, is that only 2 times this season has BRIAR Cliff scored 20-plus points. On 4 occasions, they have allowed 30 or more points. And the other thing to keep in mind today is that BRIAR Cliff is looking for their first road win of the season.
You know, and despite all that, they still have featured the leading rusher in the conference in freshman Jared Williams. He was the only running back in the Great Plains Athletic Conference to average over 100 yards per contest, had a 701 yards in the first 7 games. Last week, though, didn't play because of an injured ankle, and he wasn't on the depth chart coming into this afternoon.
And filling in for him was Rob Wilson. He's only accumulated over 233 yards this season and scored 2 touchdowns. Last week, he had 14 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. Stick around. It is GPAC football action today. Nebraska Wesleyan and BRIAR Cliff. The Prairie Wolves and the Chargers are next on 21 Sports.
These are the keys to the car that Sarah just bought after landing a new job where she barely made it to the interview on time. In a rental car, paid for with money that was transferred to her account in seconds after her old car broke down. With a simple call to Ryan at Union Bank, who took care of everything and got Sarah on her way. At the right bank, a real solution is just a phone call away. And the right bank starts with the right people.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the winter, you can save 3 to 5% in energy savings? 3 to 5%. So the question is, how low can you go? How low can... I'm okay. So visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more money and energy saving tips. Until next time, thanks for watching.
One of the great things about Nebraska Wesleyan, I think it's really, really easy to get to know your professor.
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
The education at Wesleyan is amazing.
I just really like the community feeling.
The campus is great, small campus, facilities are great, professors are great. It's just a great place to be.
I wouldn't trade anything in the world for opportunities like this.
So come to Nebraska Wesleyan.
Tyler picks it up at the 29, runs to the outside, he's to the 40, to the 45, cuts back, he's to the 50, down to the 40, still on his feet, he's all the way open on the far side. Tyler to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan.
Side, Halfman looks to the end zone, he passes complete, it's a touchdown! Holy smokes, Nebraska Wesleyan has the lead on the number 3 team in the country, and Morningside is stunned.
Trying to keep it himself and takes it in the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. Myers on a toss to Stockamp, who burrows through the middle. He's down to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. So we got a play action here from Myers downfield to a wide open Joe Manley, who catches it into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. And welcome back to Able Stadium, along with Lucas Mormon. I'm Jeff Moats on 21 Sports as we bring you G-Pack football this afternoon here in the friendly confines of this brand new press box. And should be another great day for football here in Lincoln. Just 2 weeks ago, we had very good weather for the action against Dordt College today. Very nice. Few high, thin clouds overhead. Temperatures in the 50s for the most part through much of the morning, and then this afternoon it's supposed to warm up into the 60s, so we should have very good weather here for football this afternoon. There you see the current temperature, 53 degrees sunny, winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour, and here we go. Here is the opening kickoff, and it goes into the end zone for the automatic touchback as BriarCliff will take over here and begin the ball game with the very first drive.
As you said, Jeff, just a great day, and really you look at the starting backfield here for BriarCliff, Traficani, and then there's some of the wide receivers, Stavon Levy, and then up front there's that offensive line for BriarCliff, and we'll see if they try to go to the air a little bit more with Traficani this game, as they've had some success last year in the final quarter they played.
There you see Tom Traficani. In the backfield with him is Rob Wilson, and now Traficani on 1st and 10, throws it away, intercepted, 10-5, touchdown, Brett Kotzer and Nebraska Wesleyan.
What a start for the Prairie Wolf defense. We talked about them in the open, how they've been the spark plug. We talked about Russell Walton up front, and there's Kotzer, who really, if you want to find the football, usually you just look for number 14. He found it that time, took it away on the slant, in for 6.
Wow, the former Ewing standout, Brett Kotzer, with a big play on defense from scrimmage at 1st and 10, and BriarCliff throws it away into his hands, and he runs it back in for 6. I believe that was about 16 yards, maybe about 20 yards at least from the line of scrimmage where Kotzer picked it off. So the point after coming up from Steven Anderson. Here's the snap and the hold. The kick is up, and that's through the uprights. It is good. So, 14 seconds into the ball game, Nebraska Wesleyan strikes first off an interception from Brett Kotzer. The Prairie Wolves are up 7-0 on 21. Every single year, and Sioux Falls went up to Division II this year.
And they're not fair.
After landing a new job, where she barely made it to the interview on time. In a rental car, paid for with money that was transferred to her account in seconds after her old car broke down. With a simple call to Ryan at Union Bank, who took care of everything and got Sarah on her way. At the right bank, a real solution is just a phone call away. And the right bank starts with the right people.
Brett Kotzer with an interception right off the bat and returns it in for a touchdown. 7-0 Nebraska Wesleyan ahead of BriarCliff. There you see the replay, the interception from Kotzer. Roughly about 25 yards out, he picked off that pass. And the Prairie Wolves will kick away again to BriarCliff, and the Chargers will hopefully try to overcome some early adversity here. And
well, the Chargers have struggled all season, especially on the road. Just the 2 wins, and you know they're kind of looking for an identity in offense, I guess you could say. You know, Traffic County, they've had some success last week against Northwestern in the air, so they come out throwing. They've had one of the best rushers in the league as well, but they come out throwing that time, and just Nebraska Wesleyan Kotzer makes the big play to start things off.
Emmanuel Matika from the goal line on the return, takes it to the 25-yard line, and again, Briarcliff back out on offense.
Emmanuel Matika, brought down on the play by number 20.
So at their own 25, here we go. 1st and 10 here, and
well, that's a tough way to start a contest. One play and you're down 7-0. I mean, you test the mettle of your team here. You know, can you come back and overcome? You know, it is only one score. It's obviously very early, just 14 seconds in, but that's got to weigh on your offense there early to start the contest.
Traffic County under center, fakes it to Wilson. Play action in the pocket, throws a pass, goes incomplete. It was intended for the receiver Bryce Harshman, and that pass thrown a little bit behind Harshman on the play. Let's look at the defense from the Prairie Wolves. And there you see Russell Walton. That kind of anchors the defensive line. Josh Knight, Nate Straley, Seth Wardeen. Also in that secondary with Cody Eiler, Tyler Schultz, and Zach Hoy. Brett Kotzer is the linebacker. Tanner Smith with him too, and Sheldon Bowens over there too as well for the Prairie Wolves as we continue here on 2nd down and 10.
You talk about Kotzer playing that linebacker spot. You know, he moved up from safety last year, so has the ability to cover those receivers and showed it early.
Handoff Wilson. Tries to get behind a block, and then it's nothing but Prairie Wolves, a bunch of them, led by Seth Wardeen, that prevent Wilson from getting any further. Wilson picks up about 4 yards all the way to the 29-yard line.
Well, we thought we'd see Wilson a lot today. It was
on the play by
a bum ankle of their leading rusher, Williams. Wilson has had some carries on the year, and he's just a different pace back than what Williams usually is. He's a bruiser up inside the tackles. They tried to do it with Wilson that time. He's more of a go to the edge, try and get to the corner type guy, so we'll see how they use him here on 3rd and 7.
Traffic County finds a receiver. 1st down, catch made that time. Troy Dobbins, the tight end, making the reception and gives them an extra few yards to get them the 1st down. The ball marked down at the 38-yard line.
Dobbins' 16th catch of the season from his tight end spot. About 10 yards a catch for him. That time moves the sticks. And we've seen a steady diet of the passing game from Traffic County here so far. And defensive coordinator this week, Kroom, said they were a little worried about the way they had some success last week, Briarcliff that is, passing on Northwestern, so they adjusted something. They might be playing a lot more nickel if they stick with this.
Harshman makes the catch on 1st and 10 as it's a swing toss to the flat far side. And it looked like Tyler Schultz made the tackle on the far side of the field. A little bit of a pretty good pickup there. All the way to the 45-yard line. About 7-yard gain that time for Briarcliff.
You see Coach Kroom over there dialing up the defenses, trying to figure out. And Harshman's really the favorite target for their Traffic County in this Briarcliff offense. 35 catches on the year, and they'll swing it out to him a lot in the flat, just like a long handoff. Let him make some things happen after the play.
2nd down, screen toss. Wilson gets it past the 50. Going to be tackled there by Zach Hoy across the 50 at the 47-yard line in Wesleyan territory. And another 1st down for Briarcliff.
Well, so far you've seen Briarcliff mix it up nicely. You know, Nebraska Wesleyan with those 4 solid linemen up front. Josh Knight, Russell Wilton had a huge day last week. They got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Kind of let them through there in a little screen play. Lob it over the top. Good yardage down the field.
Van Meiden, one of the receivers, split near side. Instead, it's another handoff to Rob Wilson, and Wilson is going to be stopped right at the 47 for no gain. And it will be 2nd down here for Briarcliff.
Carries the ball. He's
the receiving core.
44, Russell Walton.
You have Stevan Levy as one of the wideouts. Another one that Traffic County will look to is Brett Van Meiden. And then Bryce Harshman, he's another receiver that they keep an eye on. Those guys will interchange often here through the course of the game. 2nd and 10 here as Van Meiden is in motion to the near side of the field. Wilson gets the handoff. Oh my, nowhere to go. It looked like Nate Straley and Josh Knight were immediately right there to put the stop on Wilson. And really no gain, maybe about a half a yard, and that's it.
Number 42.
Well, and you see they try to go to the outside a little bit there, running over your tackle to the outside, trying to get to the edge with Wilson, and both Knight and Straley able to bottle that up, clog things up. slow down the speedy Wilson. Wilson just a freshman, the running back there who's filling in as well. So a lot of youth in the backfield for Briar Cliff.
Traffic Canny looking for Harshman near side. It's incomplete. Had coverage from Cody Eiler. As Eiler with some good coverage. And we talk about Cody Eiler. That's another guy we want to talk about. We do understand that he is playing with a broken hand. He has a cast on his hand. It looks like it's really taking up his two fingers toward the end of his hand. So
yeah, it looks like it's the pinky finger down there,
and the ring finger that are really
but you
being
see,
taped
he is
up.
back here, Jeff. He's still going to return kicks, still going to return punts. They feel comfortable. He can feel the ball cleanly, make the clean catch, and that's a good thing because he's a dangerous weapon back there in the return game for Nebraska Wesleyan. Has a punt and a kickoff return so far this season.
Here's Derek Beisner with the punt, kind of a knuckleballer. And Eiler going to watch it bounce, and so will Briarcliff, and they will mark it down at the 12-yard line. So that's where Nebraska Wesleyan officially begins their very first drive on offense.
And it's nice to have your first drive on offense, and you already have a 7-0 cushion. I mean, for your defense to come out, have that big play, give you that little bit of cushion, probably relaxes the offense a little bit. You know, third start for Ethan Myers, trying to go 3-0 in the season as a starter. Looked really good against Dordt. He managed the game well last week against Concordia. Did have a couple interceptions, but Nebraska Wesleyan was able to punch it in when they needed to in the short field, and Myers did some nice things again on the ground.
Handoff this time, and the carry that time for the Prairie Wolves. Looked like that was Taylor Stockamp who got it, and again, there you see the offense. Starting out was going to be Myers and Bryan in the backfield. There you see the receivers, Tyfold, Edwards, and Manley. The line looks like this with the BBs, along with Armstrong, Manser, and Beerley. That's your offensive line for Nebraska Wesleyan. Ethan Myers out of the gun here on 2nd and 1. Fake handoff, pass complete to Stockamp. Running out toward the 30, and he's going to be forced out of bounds at the 34-yard line, and a first down for the Prairie Wolves.
Mixing it up, a little power football to begin, then get it out to Stockamp in the flat. I know Coach Keller wants to establish, look at that defensive front, and they're a big defensive front. Summers and them up front, Young,
Matika,
Troba up front, Cone, and
Gosnickel,
and Lester, that linebacker, but they're a big defensive front. And Nebraska Wesleyan has
reset the clock to 10:18.
As they reset the clock here, get a little more time for Nebraska Wesleyan after the first down, but they're a big defensive front. They occupy space. They don't move well as much. And Nebraska Wesleyan has had maybe more success against those people they can get up on quickly and things like that. So we'll see if that matchup becomes an issue.
Myers over the middle that time. It looked like Matt Edwards, the intended receiver, just slightly underthrown to him. Second down coming up here for Nebraska Wesleyan. We saw 2 weeks ago in the first start that Ethan Myers had. He had, I thought, was a very solid football game in that win over Dordt College. It's just been kind of fluctuating on the level of how the offense has been playing.
Like you say, another solid game last week against Concordia. I mean, didn't beat the world, was there, wrapped up in the backfield, dropped for a loss, but didn't beat the world or anything last week, but he did enough to get the job done. Delaney, the linebacker, making the play there.
Yeah, the handoff that time to Taylor Stockamp. As we take a look at this again, there you see Delaney coming through and easily meeting up on that route where Taylor Stockamp was heading to, so it's going to be a loss of yards. 3rd and long at the 30-yard line, still in Wesleyan territory. From the gun, here we go for Ethan Myers. Dropping back, looking to throw. Out of the pocket he moves, throws a pass near side of the field, incomplete. Taylor Stockamp, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Prairie Wolves.
A lot of time that time for Ethan Myers back there. Good protection. Did roll at the end, had a little pressure from that right side, but give credit to the Briarcliff defensive backs that time. They did a good job in the coverage downfield and the receivers in routes, and nowhere for Myers to go. Had to try and get it to Stockamp, overshot him, and first punt of the day for Vandenberg, and he's been a busy guy this season.
Vandenberg with the punt. Good booming kick, and Matika picks it up at the 18, and he's going to be quickly wrapped up and stopped on the return. Wow, you talk about hustle that time.
Hittner, I think it was.
Yep, it was Michael Hittner.
Coming down from his gunner position and just wrapped up in the open field, right? Really a loss of 2 on the return. And Vandenberg is, we've mentioned it in past broadcasts, but, you know, kind of big shoes to step in and fill. If Ethan Hunke, the All-American punter the last 2 or 3 seasons, he's done a great job, even though he's been very busy. Last week against Concordia, again, he tied the GPAC record with 12 punts in the game. I think there's 23 punts between the 2 squads last week.
Wilson getting the handoff and picks up about, we'll call it 4 all the way up to the 20-yard line. And, yeah, you know, Ethan Hunke, we've seen him the last couple of years, one of the great punters in the GPAC who was, you know, getting all sorts of special team recognition all over the place. And I think Vandenberg has done a very good job this year, and as you mentioned, in filling those shoes too. So, second down here for the Prairie Wolves, or rather the Chargers. And the pass is complete as Traffic Canny completes the catch over here to the near side of the field to Colton Sweezy.
Flag at the end of the play there. I'm not sure if maybe one of the Prairie Wolves, it might have been Zach Coy over there, maybe caught a little bit of face mask.
Yep.
First down.
So it is a face mask penalty against Zach Hoy.
When you looked at Nebraska Wesleyan, penalty-wise, they're best in the league. They don't commit a lot of penalties. They're given the fewest yardage allowed by penalties in the league, but a rare face mask there, a 15-yarder. We haven't seen a lot of that from the Prairie Wolves this season.
So 1st and 10. This will be at the 44 of Briarcliff at midfield. Traffic Canny under center. Gives to Wilson. Wilson tries to find a hole through the middle and nothing doing there. And Prairie Wolves get to him that time. Looked like Russell Walton was over there along with Seth Wardeen over there at that point.
He's pummeled by number 39, Trent Friesen.
And Trent Friesen there too for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Well, they do try to power up in there. And you know, there's something to be said for if you've had the leading rusher in the league that it's probably not all on that running back. Your offensive line is doing something right if you're running the ball that well. So they'll try and stick with it with Wilson at times here. And, you know, 3 yards on first down, 2nd and 7, a workable down and distance.
From the 47 of Briarcliff. Long count. Play action here. Traffic Canny. Pass is complete to the near side of the field to Troy Dobbins, and Dobbins is going to be ran out of bounds. He gets the first down. I believe, nope, he's going to be short as we place him at the 48-yard line.
Take a look here. Good protection up front for Traffic Canny. Sets, looks through his first option, then dumps it off to Dobbins. Knocked out of bounds here right around the 48-yard line, about 2 yards shy of that first down. And on the injury front, also their fullback, who they have used quite a bit, their starting fullback out with the concussion as well, so their backup fullback in there as well.
And the pass is intercepted. It is picked off Nebraska Wesleyan, and if I'm looking right, it was one of the linemen who got the interception. That was Corey Kundal who came up with it.
Was Kundal who came up with it, but it was Straley who got those hands up there and knocked it down. Take a look at this, and if you don't get to the quarterback, you get your arms up. You try and knock it down. Straley got the paw on it. Kundal says, look what I found, and he turns upfield, and the second turnover of the game for the Prairie Wolves.
Now the defense really working hard here. Getting a big turn there for Nebraska Wesleyan. Here we go with Myers, and a pitch to Stockamp. Hurdles through the middle a little bit, and he is going to be tripped up at about the 41-yard line. We have not seen yet, as far as the offensive setup goes, the depth chart has Dustin Bryant as the first stringer, so we have not seen him yet in the game, but we've seen Taylor Stockamp working out of that role.
Well, we've seen a variety of running back there all year. First man through that time, and like it was maybe Immonen.
Yep, Tim Immonen
with the carry.
So they go with the fullback play that time, and wrapped up there by Delaney. Third down coming up here for Wesleyan. It'll be at the 40-yard line as Immonen got 1 yard on that last play.
Well, I know Coach Keller, you know, he wants to establish that running game, and he says he feels really comfortable with Myers running the option, maybe more so than Hopman. So see if maybe we see some option play here.
Stockamp gets the handoff. pushes ahead inside the 40, tackled at the 39-yard line. Delaney again on the stop for the Chargers, and now it's 4th down. The punting unit coming out again for Nebraska Wesleyan, and Kelby Vandenberg back to punt. He'll be hanging around the Wesleyan 45-yard line. And again, this is something that 2 weeks ago we weren't seeing a lot of 3-and-outs. You know, we saw a lot of sustained drives from Wesleyan.
Yeah, it's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde on the offense. Is a nice corner kick here.
Booming kick that's going to take a bounce way out of bounds on the track on that far straightaway heading in toward the turn, but they'll mark it out at about the 9-yard line. Still a pretty good punt.
Yeah, and Vandenberg shows that he can get the distance when he needs to in the punting game, and when he has to, he can angle it, pooch punt it where he has to go inside the 10. Long way to go for this Briar Cliff offense.
Let's check in with John Thayer, who's down the sidelines.
Guys, with the offensive struggles this year for Nebraska Wesleyan, a lot of key injuries on offense. It's important for this defense to get a good start. Obviously, we saw 2 interceptions so far, but they've been the ones who've got this team back on the winning track. You go back to last week, they didn't allow the offense of Concordia into the end zone, and then this week, or 2 weeks ago, they gave up only 184 yards of total offense.
And it looks like we got a recovery by Russell Walton, who returns it into the end zone for a touchdown.
So no sooner does John say it's the defense that has been picking up the Prairie Wolves. While he's talking about it, Russell Walton, I think it was a strip, and then he ripped it and took it in. Let's take it out. Does it pop free here? Does Walton just come in and tear it free? Yeah.
Yep, he grabbed that football and just ran it back into the end zone, and Russell Walton adds another 6 onto the scoreboard.
What a couple of weeks for Russell Walton so far.
The snap, the hold, the kick from Anderson is up, and it is good. 5:31 remaining in quarter number 1. Naval Stadium, Nebraska Wesleyan on top 14-0 on 21 Sports.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. If saving a few dollars isn't incentive enough for you to make your home more energy efficient, LES's Sustainable Energy Program provides incentives if you install insulation or a high-efficiency heat pump or air conditioning unit, not to mention the benefits to the environment and the fact that you'll help delay the construction of the next power plant. It's a win-win-win-win. I can't keep track. Visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for more money and energy-saving tips. See you next time.
Russell Walton, last few weeks, has had pretty good performance for the Prairie Wolves, and how about that? He strips the football out of the hands of a running back from Briar Cliff. Take a look at this again.
Well, look, you know, you always teach them, if you can't slow them down, hold them up, your partners, your friends are going to get there and help you out. Walton comes in, just grips, strips, rips, and takes it in for 6. The defensive line with an interception so far and a touchdown. Walton last week, 11 tackles, 2 sacks. The junior out of Franklin having a great couple of weeks.
And the running back that time was one of those other freshmen, Jared Williams of Briar Cliff.
And they thought Williams might get back in there, but he didn't play it all last week. So first carry back after the injury, and he has it taken from him.
And Harshman on the return. Tries to get out to the 20, past the 20, going to be tackled out of bounds. And it looks like it'll be at about the 24, 23-yard line. We'll give it to him. And the stop made on the return by Tim Dvorak.
Can I have your attention, please, Mr. Hillpicker.
This defense has been fun to watch all year. They've just really been coming into their own. I mean, now they're a force to be reckoned with, really. Putting points on the board here. You have 14 points on the board already in this one. They've had some pick sixes earlier in the season. Wardeen has had one, but so far it is fun to watch. And say it's a little bit of everybody. You saw early the linebackers, then the defensive front.
Pass. Going to go over the fingertips from Trafficani to the intended receiver on the far side, Stevan Levy. Incomplete. Second down coming up.
Well, and in the past, we've seen some teams in the GPAC have a lot of success running the ball, and not necessarily right away against Briar Cliff, but you kind of wear them down a little bit. So when they get the ball back, don't be surprised to see Coach Keller just continue to try and pound that rock and go at it. But right now, the defense is doing everything right here against the Chargers.
Levy and Sweesey to the far side, 2 others to the near side. That's Van Mayen and Harshman. pass is going to be broken up, incomplete. Levy, the intended receiver. And was that Schultz over there to break up the pass coverage that time? It looks like it was.
For Stephen Levy.
Just a little too tall from Traficani here. Great timing.
And look at Schultz, good coverage from him.
Schultz, great story there too. You know, senior year, maybe wasn't going to come back and play this season. Didn't play the first couple of games. Teammates kept bothering him. Finally gave in to the peer pressure, came back, was starting the next week.
Pressure on, screen pass is complete to Wilson, and wrap up made that time. The Prairie Wolves with the big stop.
Trent Friesen makes the play there. He's back starting lineup this week after being injured. He's only been playing sparingly. Comes up from his spot there, immediately reads that screen, drops him for a loss on the play, forces the fourth down in the punt.
So Beisner is back to punt. Cody Eiler at the 50 waiting to return. Long count, here we go. Here's the punt. Eiler going to watch it and drop it and pick it up at about the 36, and he's quickly stopped at the 40.
Well, you know, that one did drive Eiler back a little bit over his shoulder catch. You wonder how much that cast, as you see it there, you know, he's got those two fingers together, limits, you know, your ability a little bit there. So I'm not sure if it was the cast that contributed to that or if it was just the way it carried in the wind. And it's just a tough catch because Eiler usually sure-handed back there feeling those punts.
So Joe Manley will go as one of the receivers split far side. Him and Dalton Tyfall will be over there. And here's Dustin Bryant with his first carry of the afternoon. Bryant takes it to about the 42-yard line, about a 2-yard gain for him.
Dustin Bryant,
you know, there's a kid that bounced back from a rather serious injury.
Really pretty quickly. You know, the same injury that Hopman has, you know, first game of the year for Bryant, and he's already back, you know, 2 weeks ago. That collarbone has been catching a broken collarbone here for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Out of the eye, Bryant gets it again, gets behind a blocker, pushes ahead, past the 45, stopped at the 47-yard line, and the stop made by Josh Busquet.
Good kick out block that time on the outside, allowed Bryant to get up 4 or 5 yards on the play. And Wesleyan now, you know, that no huddle look. They look over the sidelines trying to pick up the tempo a little bit on Briar Cliff here.
Edwards, the tight end, shifts over and lines up here on the left side of the line. Little play action, roll out right side, screen toss, going to go incomplete. And what we got here, it looked like it was intended for Matt Sharkey.
And I think Sharkey was a little shaken up even before that ball came his direction. He got jammed at the line, coming through the line.
Because the pass was intended for him. And
almost went off his back.
Yeah, and he
Let's
was
see
falling
if he gets
toward
hit
the
here
turf.
coming through the line. Don't catch it, but look, he's not even in the right.
Yeah, it hit his helmet. He just simply went down. He must have ran into somebody just running his route.
You see the trainers, they come out, check on Sharkey as they'll shuffle him out. Brings up a 4th down and a punt. And that time they tried to roll Myers out a little bit. Had a couple options. I think he would have had Edwards if he had just a little bit more time.
Here's the punt from Vandenberg. And this kind of a wobbly punt that takes a bounce to the 35 and will bounce out at about the 32-yard line. Let's head down to John Thayer.
Okay, let me remind you to please take out that red.
Guys, you're talking about that injury. What happened was, you're right, he got jammed at the line, a little bit of helmet-to-helmet contact, and he was never able to recover. He couldn't even find himself on the field and literally was running in a straight line, head down, and obviously, as you can see, never saw that pass coming, but you hope he can get back into this game. Obviously, very concerning when somebody takes a shot to the head like that.
Yeah, we saw it on the replay, John. He collided with Paul Blanchard, who was blitzing from his defensive line spot, and that's where Sharkey got that helmet-to-helmet contact. Handoff this time as Rob Wilson takes it from the 32 up to the 34, and a 2-yard gain for him.
Decent field position for Briar Cliff this time. I think on that punt, maybe they got a little bit of a piece of it. They did bring pressure. Vandenberg had to field the one hop on the snap back-to-back times here and one hop it and get it away. But he did get the punt off, but I think it was partially blocked So which wasn't a normal looking punt from Vandenberg, who's really got a good leg into most everything all season.
2nd and 8 here for BriarCliff. Traficani's pass is blocked again, knocked down by Nate Straley. Incomplete.
Well, and Straley is just all over Traficani. Just comes on a straight rush here on the outside, a quick power rush. Gets by his man, gets the hand up, couldn't get the hit on, but knocks it down. That's twice we've seen Straley get his big paw on a ball already this afternoon. That's one way to definitely derail a passing attack, is just bat everything down, and they've been doing a good job of getting their hands up, even though maybe they haven't got the pressure they've wanted to so far.
3rd down, Traficani looking to throw, and the pass is complete to Levy, and it looks like it is enough for a 1st down. He made the catch at the 42, but lunged forward to the 43-yard line and a 1st down.
Stavon Levy, is him and Harshman are the 2 top targets for Traficani, and 25 catches on the season for Levy, and he's really dangerous after the catch too. You know, he's one of the return guys. He can get up the sidelines.
They had to reset the clock up to 2:19. It was at 2:13, so.
Take a look at Sharkey there on the sideline yet.
Wilson with the pitch. And runs ahead, is going to be knocked out at the 49-yard line. Cody Eiler over there to make the stop.
Like Eiler's shaking up a little bit. He comes off, looked like got jammed in the shoulder a little bit there, maybe a little stinger, so he comes off.
Matt Sharkey's been a veteran of this football team, and he has been key in many games for Nebraska Wesleyan here in the last couple of years.
Our big games last year. The shark attack, they call him.
Wilson takes it ahead into Wesleyan territory, stopped at the 44-yard line and gets a 1st down.
Wilson with the carry.
Matt Sharkey, the Lincoln Southwest product, has been pretty influential at the fullback position. And then we take a look at this replay again. There you see Wilson on the last play.
He just gets right up in the hole. And, you know, when you're going up there, the defensive line, you look at number 77, 335 pounds. He gets his body on someone. That's all Wilson needs to get some yardage.
Pressure's on, and Traficani had to get rid of the ball as Russell Walton and Nate Straley were blitzing, and they were coming right after him, and it will be incomplete.
Well, they called a little bit of a blitz. Plus, I think the relief valve, Wilson never was really able to get out of the backfield. He got clogged up there as well. It was just a perfect storm that time. As they call that incomplete, almost looked like maybe it was just knocked free, but they ruled incomplete on the field, 2nd and 10.
From the 44 of Wesleyan. High snap, Traficani recovers, throws a pass in the flat to Harshman, who gets the pass, and he's going to be stopped at the 44, so no gain. Really no gain on that play at all, and it will be 3rd down.
That's Howard coming up, making the stick there. He came in when Eiler went off with after he was shaken up a little bit. So Howard comes in, makes a nice play, filling on the run after the swing out pass to Harshman. We've seen that play 2 or 3 times already this afternoon, where they just swing out to Harshman and let him try and go to work.
Van Minden out there along with Sweesey and Levy on the far side, and this time Traficani looking over the middle. It looked like Van Minden was going to cut in toward the middle, was beyond where he was heading to, and it goes incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Traficani didn't have a whole lot of options that time. Pressure was coming. He needed to get rid of the football, or it was going to be another sack for Traficani, and if you get a little pressure on him, they will, you know, he'll throw some errant passes.
So Beisner back to punt. Cody Eiler inside the 15 at the 13-yard line, awaiting the punt. High snap to Beisner and gets the punt off. And Eiler will just watch it go bouncing back into the end zone for a touchback. And so with 36 seconds remaining here in the quarter, the Prairie Wolves will have it at their own 20-yard line.
For a touchback, Prairie Wolves will take over on their 20.
Well, you talk about when we look at offensive strategies here for Nebraska Wesleyan, Coach Keller has wanted to establish the run game first and foremost. They've done that a little bit today. They've ran the ball quite a bit, although there have been times where it's kind of backfired on them.
Well, we haven't seen really any play action yet for Myers, or you look for the play action after you get some of these going. Joe Manley has been a great target down the field for some big plays in play action type situations. Here he run a little options. Myers just bowls his way forward for almost 9 yards.
Up to about the 29-yard line on the play, and they want to get that established.
Myers
We see
carries
Dustin
the ball.
Bryant come in
He's
here.
got
The
that
last
football.
series, we saw him get a little bit of
See a
work
big
in the
hole
backfield.
here, gets by the defender there. Pitch man was taken, so he cut it up himself, protecting the football. So just his third collegiate start, he's done a great job for Wesleyan filling in for Hopman. There's a
Here's
big hole.
Inneman with a big hole up the field, 50, 45, 40, down to the 30, and corralled from behind, bulldogged at about the 27-yard line as Tim Inneman breaks free for a big gain inside the 30.
Running back by committee, this time first man through, imminent, and then he just gets to that second level and nobody's home. They stacked the box, and it was a foot race. See right here as he gets, like you say, brought down from behind.
And the quarter comes to a close. And your score, pretty indicative of what the defense has done. And those points have been coming courtesy of the defense here so far in this game. And it started 14 seconds in with this interception from Brett Kotzer. 7-0 Wesleyan at that point. And here's a tip in the passing lane by Nate Straley, and Corey Kundal comes down with it for Wesleyan. And then here's the big takeaway from Russell Walton out of the hands of Jared Williams and returning it into the end zone for the other 6. 14-0 Wesleyan. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
Things about Nebraska Wesleyan, I think it's really, really easy to get to know your professor.
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
The education at Wesleyan is amazing.
And I just really like the community feeling.
The campus is great, small campus, facilities are great, professors are great. It's just a great place to be.
I wouldn't trade anything in the world for opportunities like this.
So come to Nebraska Wesleyan.
So the Prairie Wolves with it, 1st and 10 from the 27 of Briarcliff. Swing pass far side to Joe Manley, and Manley is tackled at the 21-yard line, so we'll call it a 6-yard pickup for Manley. We'll get to some of the first quarter stats in just a moment. Do a little bit of comparison between both Briarcliff and Nebraska Wesleyan. 2nd and 4 now. Out of the eye. And Jordan Delbach gets the handoff inside the 20. He's to the 10. Cuts back. He's open. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan.
That's Jordan Delbaugh with a Prairie Wolf touchdown.
A 21-yarder for Delbaugh, and I believe that's his first carry of the game.
We saw Jordan Delbaugh last week get some carries at Concordia, and he's just another different dimension in the backfield. As you take a look here, he's able to juke and jive his way through, picks his way, nice block here, follows his blocker, and then says, you know what, I got to go this way, changes his field of direction, stiff arms into the end zone. Delbaugh with his touchdown here on his first carry of the game.
Steven Anderson's extra point is up and good.
The extra point is
21-0 is where we stand. 14-21 to go, first half from Able Stadium. Back in just a moment. It's open.
This is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. If saving a few dollars isn't incentive enough for you to make your home more energy efficient, LES's Sustainable Energy Program provides incentives if you install insulation or a high-efficiency heat pump or air conditioning unit, not to mention the benefits to the environment and the fact that you'll help delay the construction of the next power plant. It's a win-win-win-win. I can't keep track. Visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for more money and energy-saving tips. See you next time.
The 5th carry of the year for Jordan Delbaugh, and it results in a touchdown. The first carry of the game for him, too. And with 14-21 to go here in this first half, it's Nebraska Wesleyan up now 21-0 on the Chargers of BriarCliff.
When you see just the shiftiness of Delbaugh, the speed able to get out there, it's such a different change of pace from maybe Stockcamp or Bryant, more straight ahead downhill runners. He brings that added dimension to that Nebraska Wesleyan backfield. And, you know, we talked about it in the open. John talked about it, how they have the starters, quote unquote, both healthy for once in this backfield.
And it's picked up by one of the up men at about the 30-yard line, and the return that time from Gene Williams.
Yeah, Williams gets the starting nod this afternoon at fullback as well, after they were left without the services of their usual fullback, Van Dusen, who was suffering some issues from a concussion earlier in the week. So doing a little double duty there in the kickoff team as well.
They'll mark the ball actually behind the 40 at the 38, so Chargers here on offense. Harshman split far side along with Levy. And Wilson gets the handoff, and he is wrapped up from behind and taken down close to the 40-yard line. Looked like Brett Kotzer got in on the action maybe. Nope, that was Russell Walton that got it.
Well, when you're in doubt, it's usually Walton. He's around the football all the time the last couple of games, really flying to the football, getting to the quarterback, picking the pocket of the running back earlier in the game here. Russell Walton just putting together a great season, and like you say, an all-conference performer, an all-conference type season so far for Walton.
2nd and 8 here for Traficani. He's going to air it out downfield, and Harshman, it was right in his hands and just could not hold on to the ball. Diving for it, incomplete.
Harshman had a step that time over there on Hauer. Take a look here. Harshman just fly right down the field. Had a yard or two on Hauer, who's over there for Eiler.
It was a good look from Traficani on that pass route. So 3rd down and 8. Still at the 40 of BriarCliff.
It'll be interesting to see how much we see Eiler after he went off with that, looked like maybe a stinger.
And now a sack in the backfield. Looked like Kotzer coming in there to make the stop. And
Kotzer again, and he had to throw the brakes on, or he would have ran right by him. Did just enough to disrupt Traficani. As you look here, Kotzer comes flying in, breaks down at the last second. Also there in the help on the play that time was Tanner Smith from his linebacker spot. So the two linebackers come on a blitz that time, and Kotzer already has a pick 6 this game. The junior out of Ewing gets a sack there. Another long 4th down play and a punt for BriarCliff. Eiler is out there to return the kick, so
he's at the 32. And Beisner sees a snap go over his head. Ball picked up into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Jordan Delbaugh.
So Delbaugh in the action on special teams. Originally, I thought maybe we were going to get a safety.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Take a look at this. The snap is high, and they've had some issues with the last 3 or 4 snaps, not just in the punts. Never did get it picked up, and scooping it up is Delbaugh. So we've seen defense for the Prairie Wolves score 2 times, special teams once, and already, you know, one for the offense. Everybody getting to the action today. Jordan Delbaugh with a big game back, not necessarily from his running back spot.
And now we got penalty flags that come out. And offside.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty.
So back it up, make a little bit harder for Anderson. A little more than an extra point now, but he's been very accurate all season long. Hit the game winner last week in Concordia.
Here's the snap of the hold. The kick from Anderson is up, and it is good. 12:40 to go, first half. Jordan Delbaugh scores again, but off a bad snap by BriarCliff. 28-0 Prairie Wolves on 21 Sports.
This is the smoothie that Tina bought after her workout by withdrawing some money from the ATM near her gym, instead of stopping at the branch in her grocery store, or the one by her daughter's school, or her usual location that's minutes from home, where Dave at Union Bank takes care of her when she needs more than an ATM. At the right bank, help is just around the corner. And the right bank starts with the right people.
Jordan Delbaugh with another recovery for a touchdown. Second touchdown of the game for him, 28-0 Nebraska Wesleyan. You know, looking at some of the first quarter stats, there you see the replay of the bad snap on the punt and Delbaugh jumping on top of the football in the end zone. But when we look at some of the stats from the first quarter, look at the time of the possession. Briarcliff had 10 minutes of possession time. Nebraska Wesleyan just under 5 minutes, and they're up. At that point, they were up 14-0.
Yeah, if you're just going to look at the scoreboard and go, hey, who's had the ball longer, you wouldn't go, oh, Briarcliff has probably had it twice as long as Nebraska Wesleyan. But defense and special teams have made for short fields. They've made for easy scores. They've had three of their own scores. And really, the Nebraska Wesleyan offense through that first quarter, only 85 yards, but they haven't had to do a whole lot because the defense and special teams have been doing it.
Matika on the return, tripped up just across the 30-yard line. And Taylor Gunther out of Waverly coming out to make the stop on the return.
The Spirit Squad is selling 50/50
Wesleyan with some Waverly connections back here. You got Gunther, some special teams in the secondary. You got Zach Hoy.
You know, and Coach Keller's gotten a lot of good players out of Waverly in recent years. You know, you talk about Hoy, you talk about Gunther. Jim Taverdi just a few years ago was another one. Alex Woida was another one that was a member of this Wesleyan football team. Here's a snap, and Jared Williams got the handoff from Traficani, and Williams gets about a yard to the 33-yard line.
You know, and he is their go-to back. He's dinged up last week, bum wheel, got the ankle. He's a big bruising runner. When you look at Jared Williams, 6 foot, 230 pounds. So he's a load to bring down back there. As Coach Keller knew and Coach Kroom, defensive coordinator, that would be a pair of maybe different games on whether or not he was in the game or whether he was on the sideline. They kind of had to prepare for almost two different looks from this Briarcliff team.
Traficani to Harshman on the far side across the 35, marked out at the 38-yard line.
Pushed out of bounds by Cody Eiler.
Harshman already with his third catch of the afternoon. You see Coach Keller, talked to him before the game. You know, he's excited about, you know, the winning streak they've been on, put together a couple wins off that bye week, and how Coach Myers was doing, or how Myers is doing at quarterback, looking to get another one here and really close out this season on a really positive note.
Third down play, Traficani looking to throw that time to Colton Sweesey, incomplete. Down to John Thayer.
Ball's incomplete.
Guys, you're talking about Jared Williams. He had a slight limp before the game. He had that ankle injury last week that he sat out with. So they're probably not going to use him as much as they'd like to today as he tries to recover from that ankle injury. He is the top rusher in the GPAC, though, the only conference running back averaging over 100 yards per game.
He's been used seldom today. It started out with Rob Wilson, and that's what we were anticipating, was Wilson getting the start, and he did. Here's the punt. Beisner almost got it blocked. It looks like it went off the side of his foot, and it goes out of bounds in the neighborhood of the 50-yard line.
And who was it coming in to make another play on special teams? Jordan Delbaugh. Either that or it was Richards.
Let's take a look at this again. It was Delbaugh who almost got the blocked punt.
Great field position for the Nebraska Wesleyan offense, and Myers, and let's say that last drive where they punched one, finally got things rolling a little bit. Saw a little bit more option game out of Myers and the Prairie Wolves. See how they attack the Briarcliff defensive front this time.
We'll spot the ball at the 45 of Briarcliff. Out of the eye, Stockamp gets the handoff. Found a hole.
Stockamp with the carry.
Gets up to the 40-yard line. 5-yard pickup for him as Harrison Whitland of Briarcliff put the stop on him.
5 yards on first down, though, puts you in a great down and distance. 2nd and 5, your entire playbook open here, just about 11 minutes left in the half.
Here's a pitch to Stockamp. Stockamp, kind of like a pinball at first, and he is still keeping his strength as he pushes ahead and takes all sorts of chargers with him all the way to the 28-yard line.
Stockamp got a solid 7 yards after initial contact there. Just kept bouncing off people. A little spin in the middle here as you see. He'll come up, take the quick pitch on the, get to the outside, just keeps those legs churning, and he just carries 4, 5 blue hats with him all the way down inside the 30.
Tim Miniman, the fullback, takes it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. He's met up with a few Chargers that time, including Eric Jones.
Jones in on that last play, the sophomore, as well, to bring down Stockkamp. He's lost his helmet a couple times. Jones has. Now there's pace in the Nebraska Wesleyan offense here. Maybe wearing a little bit, even though they've only had the ball for over 5 minutes. When they do have it, they're up on it and getting after this defense, our offense, every play.
Myers a throw. Pass knocked away, incomplete. Good coverage there from the Chargers that time. Breaking up the pass was Mike Trobaugh.
This time they roll Myers out. Little play action fake.
John Hawthorne was the intended receiver.
Has a little pressure. Pretty decent throw, but pretty good coverage as well.
So 3rd down and 6. Out of the gun, here it is for Myers. Rolling left, looking upfield, passes incomplete.
Well, they're going to say that one came in and out of the hands of the intended target that time.
Brian Pieper was the guy that looked like he may have picked up the catch there at about the 10, but they're going to say
take a look here and see. Again, Myers rolling out. They've had some success with him on the move today. Good kick out block.
44, my side.
Take a look, and yeah, it just hits the turf a little bit there as it comes through, as bring in Anderson for the field goal.
From the 31, a 41-yard attempt for Steven Anderson from the near side hash mark. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good. 31-0. As Steven Anderson adds on to the total on the scoreboard. 9:51 to go in the first half. Back to Able Stadium in a moment.
This is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. If saving a few dollars isn't incentive enough for you to make your home more energy efficient, LES's Sustainable Energy Program provides incentives if you install insulation or a high-efficiency heat pump or air conditioning unit, not to mention the benefits to the environment and the fact that you'll help delay the construction of the next power plant. It's a win-win-win-win. I can't keep track. Visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for more money and energy-saving tips. See you next time.
21 Sports is where we're at for GPAC football today. It is the weekend before Halloween. We've seen a few folks dressed up here for Halloween activities.
Yeah, I saw the village people down there earlier. We're heading up to the press box, and great day. We were talking before the game. We've had some cold and really bone-chilling days out here this time of year, but so far, Coach Keller even said, they never really had super heat during the early August games. They've had mild conditions, not really any rain, no snow, anything like that. They've really had a great season of weather here in the GPAC.
There they are.
People.
There they are. Every one of them.
I bet we might see the YMCA later.
Here we go on the return. Up the field, all the way on the run, and finally tripped up was Bryce Harshman, and that's a big return for him as he gets into Wesleyan territory. They'll mark him down at the 45-yard line, it looks like, or 46.
Harshman's dangerous. You see why they like to get in his hands. Yeah, you got them all there. Construction worker, Indian, they're all up today cheering on the Prairie Wolves. But Harshman, that time all he had to beat was Anderson, the kicker. Good open field tackle by Steven Anderson, saving the touchdown.
So from the 46, Jared Williams, hand off to him. With that forward progress, he takes it to the 44-yard line. Back to the weather. We were talking how tremendous the weather has been all season for every game here in Lincoln.
Yeah. We've had picture-perfect days, and really today it's right up there with a great fall day for football. Not a lot of wind this afternoon. Temperatures climbing up in the 50s, almost 60 this afternoon. You can't ask for more as you're 1 day, 2 days from Halloween right now. And it's pretty scary out there for the Briarcliff offense, that's for sure.
Traficani throws a pass incomplete over the middle. You know, I can remember a few years ago we went down and did the Doane Wesleyan game in Crete, and it was early October, early to mid-October, 90-some degrees out that afternoon.
Roll of the dice, you just really never know what you're going to get here in Nebraska with the weather, that's for sure.
And if I remember right, like 2 weeks later, we had snow flying in Lincoln. You know, so the weather pattern has been very consistent.
Well, and it's at least it's been very gracious to the Prairie Wolves, and they've been at home here and their fans.
3rd and 8 from the 44 of Wesleyan. Traficani going to bomb again downfield, going to go incomplete. He's going to try to throw a bomb over the middle, and it was intended for Brett Van Meiden. So
and Van Meiden, you know, ran a good route. He was open, but again, pressure coming from the backside on Traficani forces him to throw maybe a little earlier than he wants to. Rushes the throw, can't get a good follow through in, and he has to throw that one and throws it a little under, a little short of his intended target, and the Wesleyan defense forcing another punt. And last time, Delbaugh nearly got the block. And really, the long snappers had issues all afternoon as well. They haven't had really a clean snap to the punter yet.
Here's the punt. Not a bad kick, although it drifts out of bounds. It had some range until it moved inside the 20, going to be marked out at the 17-yard line. 8:49 to go here in this first half of action.
You know, already 31-0. Quite the contrast to last week. A defensive struggle for the Prairie Wolves. They win 10-7, where neither team was able to move the ball a whole lot, where this week, points on the board from a variety of sources, special teams, defense. The offense has got into the action, but be interesting to see just what they decide to quote-unquote work on with this lead, and if there'll be some players getting some carries that maybe don't usually.
Here's Tim Inneman off a couple of tackles, eludes a few of them along the way before he is corralled by Chance Colvin across the 30 at the 33-yard line.
You know, you see Inneman here is he just wraps it up, couple stiff arms, pushes players to the ground, gets 12 yards. It's got to be tough to prepare for this Nebraska Wesleyan team as well, because you never really know what running back is going to have a big day for you.
Well, Dustin Bryant gets the handoff that time, and he is stopped by Chris Ballinger, a linebacker, a sophomore out of St. Louis.
Coach Rethman for Briarcliff in his 4th year, taking over at Briarcliff, trying to turn things around a little bit. He's struggled, just 10 wins in the 4 years so far. Their old lone GPAC win this year, a 16-10 overtime win to Dordt.
Inneman gets the handoff, and it was Harrison Wetland who tripped him up, and Wetland thought he picked up a fumble.
He thought he did, but they'll say the ground caused that one. As he kind of went airborne, pops out when he comes down on it. Well, I don't know. That was maybe a little bit closer than I originally thought, looking at it in real speed. Wetland might have had an argument there. Either way, it's 3rd and long. We haven't seen Myers throw the ball much this afternoon, haven't had to. We haven't seen a ton of offense out of his arm.
Myers throws, it goes to Edwards, who gets the completion, and they'll mark him right at the 40-yard line.
Well, when you do have to throw, who better? The big tight end, Matt Edwards, the leading receiver on the team. Seam route right down the middle, settled in between the coverage. Edwards with his 24th catch of the year, leading receiver on the team. Another big play for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Myers a toss to Bryant, spin move, cuts back left side, inside the 30, gets the first down, finally tackled from behind at the 24-yard line.
Slow developing run play. Bryant kind of a slow spin move at the point of attack. Then just tries to get outside, had some good blocking downfield. Lorraine from the wide receiver spot.
Timeout, Briarcliff. The first start, timeout and a half.
So the Chargers will take a timeout. 6:54 to play in the first half. 31-0 Wesleyan on 21 Sports.
Is the smoothie that Tina bought after her workout by withdrawing some money from the ATM near her gym. instead of stopping at the branch in her grocery store, or the one by her daughter's school, or her usual location that's minutes from home, where Dave at Union Bank takes care of her when she needs more than an ATM. At the right bank, help is just around the corner, and the right bank starts with the right people.
Back at Able Stadium, let's head down to the field really quick and check in with John Thayer. John?
Guys, just saw Matt Edwards make that catch, and Lucas, you mentioned he's the leading receiver on this team. Not only that, the leading tight end in the entire conference, the GPAC. There's a couple of good games going around in the conference right now today. Northwestern is leading Dakota Wesleyan 7-0, and in the second quarter, Doane and Hastings tied at 10.
Well, Jeff Hastings really coming on strong here to close out the season. They've caused some problems for Dakota Wesleyan, picked up a big win last week as a free play here.
Myers is going to keep it. He breaks free into the end zone, stumbling in there for the touchdown. But we got penalty flags that were tossed. And I wonder if it's going to be an offside against Briarcliff.
Yeah, I think a free play there as Myers just stuck with it, knowing that no matter what happened, he was going to get it back. Have a chance to run it again. Let's listen in.
Offsides on the defense. Number 51. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown.
So Myers adds on with another 6 on the scoreboard.
Touchdown.
And the Prairie Wolves are up 37-0 with the point after coming up.
Well, Myers show here makes as much as he can out of nothing, really a broken play. Was able to get across the grain, keep his feet, stumble into the end zone for his first rushing touchdown of the day. And extra points up and good.
It is good from Steven Anderson. 38-0 is where we stand. Nebraska Wesleyan ahead after the Ethan Myers touchdown. Back to Able Stadium in a moment.
Wesleyan because
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
21 Sports bring you GPAC football today from Able Stadium at Nebraska Wesleyan University. I'm Jeff Moats with Lucas Mormon, our entire 21 Sports crew. John Thayer on the sidelines as well. As Nebraska Wesleyan now leads at 38-0 over Briarcliff. And we talked about this during pregame, Lucas, how Briarcliff in 4 separate occasions this season has allowed the opponents to score 30 or more points, and we're already past that point. We were past that point after the Steven Anderson field goal.
Yeah, I mean, when it rains, it pours, I guess, for Nebraska Wesleyan or Briarcliff, however you want to look at it. I mean, the quick start on defense, 2 defensive scores, special teams. Now the offense gets things rolling. You know, broken play there. Ethan Myers turns it into 6 on a free play, basically. And Briarcliff, now they just have to find some consistency and try to come back and just establish something at this point. They got to find some small victories in this game here.
You know, Harshman trying to zigzag his way through the middle on the return, and he is stopped on that return, it looks like, from John Hovendig.
You know, we saw Harshman looks a little shaken up as he walks off, and that would, you know, be an even bigger blow as Harshman, the top receiver, leading receiver coming into the game of this team. But we saw last year, you know, Nebraska Wesleyan got up big on Briarcliff, and then Briarcliff came back in the fourth quarter, really threw it around on them. Were able to put some points on the board, make it look a little closer than it was. So, I mean, at this point, you feel pretty safe with a 38-0 lead. But I don't think Briarcliff is going to lay down here. I mean, they have to keep competing, and that's what Coach Rethmans, I'm sure, is going to look for, is if they just keep coming out and competing.
On a sweep here to the left side, Jared Williams gets the pitch from Traffic Kenny and takes it from the 34 up to the 37-yard line.
I say Williams, that leading rusher coming into the game, over 100 yards in the GPAC with that bum ankle, but a load to bring down, a punishing runner, but is only a freshman. You look at that Briarcliff, you know, backfield, and right now you got 2 freshman running backs. You got a freshman fullback that's dinged up as well, so a lot of youth back there for Briarcliff.
Traffic Kenny trying to go to the screen toss, completes it to Williams up to the 45, the 50, and going to be ran out of bounds along the near sideline, and a flag comes out. That's going to be a late hit.
You know, Nebraska Wesleyan only averaging like 45.7 yards. Take a look at this, though. Look at Traffic County. Knows he's set up the screen, holds on it, kind of double clutches it just long enough to get. Just enough to get him in. That is a late hit that time.
It's on Brett Kotzer.
So Kotzer's had a bright spot, the pick six, and there's an uncharacteristic 15-yard penalty on the Prairie Wolves. Now, this is about the best that Briar Cliff has had it in Nebraska Wesleyan territory, all the way down to the 31.
Here's Traffic County. Gives it to Williams, and Williams takes it from the 31 to the 28-yard line.
Now we've seen a little bit more of Williams this drive on a consistent basis. We've seen earlier in the game where he'd come in for a play or two here or there, so maybe that ankle's starting to loosen up a little bit, feel a little bit better, or he just feels that he needs to come in and try and give his team a spark.
And his first play in the game earlier today was that takeaway from Russell Walton that resulted in a touchdown. So he got off to kind of a rough start there, and he's kind of settled down here, it looks like. So second down here and 7. Drop back from Traffic County. Pass to the near side of the field is complete to Stevan Levy.
Good coverage out there again this time. Short gain. This time it was Bowens from his linebacking spot. And like I said, coming in, I know Nebraska Wesleyan kind of prepared for two different Briar Cliff offenses almost. One when Williams was in the game, more of a power game where they try and pound it between there, but when he's out, they're thinking that they're going to be more of a passing, letting it fly type attack where they're going to have to maybe go to their nickel a little bit more, play some more DBs. So they stay at the base defense here as Williams is in there.
Play action here, nothing doing that time. And blitz coming in there. And Nebraska Wesleyan with a big stop. That looked like that might have been Taylor Tukolsky who came in and got the stop for the Prairie Wolves.
In the backfield by Tukolsky and Latimer.
And Latimer in there as well. And keep your eyes open for Latimer. You never know where you're going to see Latimer come in and pick up a carry here or there. He's been in on the offensive side a few times last week at Concordia. Came in as a lead blocker in some isolation type plays. So it's kind of a fine Phil Latimer day out there for Nebraska Wesleyan.
So Traffic County will spread it out here on fourth down, looking to the air. Pass is complete to Levy inside the 20, and a tackle at the 19-yard line. But we got penalty flags on the field that came in about the time that Levy was making the catch.
Traffic County gets some credit. That time stood in there, took a lick, still delivered the football. Levy able to get the yardage after the catch needed because he wouldn't have had it right away, as they're going to talk this one over. Neither team really is sure, I think, what's going on here. They are going to spot the ball at the 19.
On the defense, that penalty will be declined. First down.
Well, either way, fourth down call comes up with the right result for the Briar Cliff Chargers. Little spark maybe that they needed here, get something going.
Really, this has been the real sustained drive they've had all game.
Well, and part of it's due to that penalty. That 15-yarder knocked him on that late hit, got him maybe into the groove, into Nebraska Wesleyan territory.
Traffic County with a screen toss to Williams, and he's going to be thrown back for a loss. And it'll be back behind the 20 at about the 22.
Like Friesen again. Read that one perfectly. Friesen was there. Kotzer was there. Like I say, Friesen comes up getting the start today. He's been playing like every other game. He had a stress fracture. He still has a stress fracture in his foot. So he was just getting some time every other game, filling in when needed. Feeling a lot better this week. Got the start. We've seen him make a couple big plays already for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Levy split near side along with Brett Van Meiden. Harshman out to the far side. Swings it over here left side as Traffic County's pass intended for Levy is incomplete.
Short hopped it in there that time again, though pressure was coming. When Nebraska Wesleyan can get some pressure up front, Traffic County has shown his accuracy, his ability to complete those passes has really went down. He just really under the pressure. He's delivered 1 or 2 passes under some pressure with some accuracy. But other than that, it's been tough.
3rd and long here for BriarCliff at the Wesleyan 22. Out of the gun. Traffic Canny looking. Pass is tipped up in the air, and it's going to go incomplete. What a play that was on the defense for Nebraska Wesleyan. And we head down to the field and check in with John Thayer.
Guys, I don't know if you saw in that last screenplay, Jared Williams, after he got wrapped up immediately and taken down, he stood up and threw the football off of the chest of his offensive lineman, Billy Peterson, and then screamed in his face. So frustration really settling in for BriarCliff down 38-0.
And you can sense it. Now they take a timeout because they're going to try to figure out something here on 4th down. They haven't really been so close to the Wesleyan end zone at all in this game, and now they have an opportunity to where they can try to keep the drive going if they can just simply convert on this 4th down. 38-0, Wesleyan on top on 21 Sports.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the winter, you can save 3 to 5% in energy savings? 3 to 5%. So the question is, how low can you go? How low can you... I'm okay. So visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more money and energy saving tips. Until next time, thanks for watching.
On 4th down here, it will be BriarCliff going for it. They will not go for a field goal. We'll explain why here in a moment. As Traffic Canny works out of the gun, here it is. Eludes the tackle. He thought he could, but no, not that time. And the stop made.
Traffic Canny is sacked in the backfield by Taylor DeColsey.
Taylor DeColsey coming in to make the stop that time. Here it is again on the replay. We were looking at some of the stats here before he came back, Lucas, and
well, yeah, you might think
Beisner's field goal attempts and his
Beisner's
percentage
only
is not
attempted
good.
5, but he's only made 1, and it was from 26 yards. He's missed from 35, 37, 33. So 4th and 12, you're down. You want to get some points on the board. You might think, why are you not at least kicking the field goal there? Well, 1 for 5 on the year. They felt a little bit better taking their chances with Traffic Canny on the offense. Unfortunately for BriarCliff, as they reset the clock again here. They're sneaking in on us, always getting the clock reset. 2:41, they say, officially on the game clock. But the Nebraska defensive front and those linebackers really bringing the pressure. And again, a sack. They've had a lot of sacks the last 2 weeks.
Jordan Delbaugh gets the pitch. He tries to come back, and he's still on his feet. He's going to break out toward the 40, the 45, and finally stopped at the 50-yard line.
Well, and he picked up some nice blocks when he reversed his field, and if we do take a look at this, you'll see one of the people throwing a block downfield. Watch for number 4, Ethan Myers, the quarterback, at the end of this run. Come all the way back, right there he is, picks up a block for Delbaugh. That's doing a little bit of everything from the quarterback spot.
21-yard pickup that time for Delbaugh. Now on 1st and 10 for the 50, works his way outside. And probably on that play gets 9 yards as he is tackled at the 41-yard line.
You know, I saw the game last week. I was out at Concordia doing the game out there as well. I was able to see Delbaugh in his first action back, and I thought last week he looked a little tentative. He really wasn't sure where he was going, getting back in the field of things. But this week, it looks like a different runner, really confident in his cuts, able to find the openings and running hard when he does have open field.
Delbaugh with a pitch again. He's across the 40. That time he stumbles on his feet as he bumped off a tackle and gets down to the 37-yard line. It is a first down regardless, and so Delbaugh running the ball very well here on this series, and we'll get a new running back in there. It looks like Blake Coyne comes in. He'll be the eye back right behind the fullback, Inneman.
Well, and you know, one of the things that makes Delbaugh so tough to bring back, he's tough to find.
Here's Coyne. Coyne is going to be pushed out of bounds. It's going to be a loss of 2 yards all the way back to the 39-yard line.
Well, to finish my thought there, you know, Delbaugh, just 5'4", so he can really almost hide behind some of those offensive linemen back there, pick and choose where he's going to go. He's a tough find back there for those linebackers and defensive front of Briar Cliff, and big difference. Now they'll split them all the way out.
Yep, double wideouts each side. You got another one, the tight end going as a receiver too, so make that 5, but this time Myers looks to Inman over here on the right side of the field and gets him back into some positive yardage inside the 35 at the 33-yard line. So the Prairie Wolves will take a timeout here with just over a minute to go. 38-0, that's where we stand. Wesleyan on top on 21 Sports.
Because it's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
Coach Keller, you see over there on the sideline, very pleased with how his team has been performing here in the first half. And, you know, we've been talking about the defense all first half, and, you know, they've installed new blitz packages. They even tried to get some more pressure put on the quarterback today, and I think they've lived up to that expectation, at least of what they've been planning for prior to today.
Yeah, they not just new blitz packages, some new stunts along the defensive line itself, and that defensive line has really been the backbone the last couple of weeks for that defense, and they've showed it this afternoon.
Pass complete to Tyfault. Tyfault has ran out of bounds on the far side, and he gets to about the 25-yard line. It's a first down.
You know, Myers has only even attempted a handful of passes, I think 7 passes on the afternoon. Now, this time he dropped back, gets it out in the flat. Tyfault able to get to the sticks, move the chains. Even that last play before that, just like what I see out of Myers from a passing standpoint today, he didn't force it, went to his third option, imminent the last time, checked down, able to get a few yards, even though it wasn't a big play, was very conscious of where he went with it, not forcing the issue.
Myers airing it out to Tyfault. It's incomplete. It looked like he made the catch, but he was knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought he was going to haul it in there initially.
I thought he had it.
I thought he had it. I think he probably would have been out of bounds either way, but he did.
It was close.
Get jarred loose right at the end and lose it.
Oh, yeah, he was out.
He was going to be out either way, and then the big hit from the corner knocked it free. But a pretty good ball from Myers, put it where only his receiver was going to get it. Couldn't lead to a turnover. Again, being smart with the ball. We've seen at times in the 3 games so far that he started that he has forced a few passes. You know, he's had 4 interceptions, 2 of them returned for touchdowns. But so far today, a little flea flicker action.
Myers airs it out in toward the end zone to Manley, but it's intercepted. Or is it going to be intercepted, or are they going to rule it? No, incomplete.
They're going to say he didn't have control, and no sooner do I say that he's forced it into a few situations on the trick play, the flea flicker, they throw it a little short, and they'll say it was incomplete. I don't think the Briar Cliff staff maybe agrees with that. I think they thought he had it, thought he made the catch. Let's take a look. It was intended for Manley.
And then you got Emmanuel Matika, who comes up with it, and he looked like he dropped the ball as he was coming down to the ground. So 3rd and 10. As Myers looking to throw, screen toss, it is complete to Inman, and it's at the 24-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down here for the Prairie Wolves.
And we'll see Steven Anderson.
Prairie Wolves will take a timeout here to discuss what they want to do on 4th down. 41.5 seconds remain here in this first half. 38-0 Wesleyan on 21 Sports.
Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the winter, you can save 3 to 5% in energy savings? 3 to 5%. So the question is, how low can you go? How low can... I'm okay. So visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more money and energy saving tips. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Able Stadium, Nebraska Wesleyan University. As we look out around the city, there you see a view of the skyline from downtown Lincoln all the way out here in northeast Lincoln. And Briar Cliff and Nebraska Wesleyan here. Wesleyan on top 38-0. Steven Anderson to set up for a field goal It will be a 41-yard attempt. The kick is up. It's got some distance, and it is no good. It went wide to the right.
Plenty of leg, though, by Anderson. Just pushed it a little to the right. He would have been good from another 10 yards out. Anderson, just his second miss of the season, and the only other one came on a block. So really the lone speed bump, the lone chink in the armor here so far is the missed field goal. Otherwise, it's really been aces the whole day for Nebraska Wesleyan.
So with 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line, Briarcliff here with the football for the final 36 seconds. And Wilson gets the handoff, and he is stopped for a loss of yards back around the 21-yard line.
That'll probably be the final play of the first half. I don't think Briarcliff is going to force the issue here. They're just going to get into the locker room, try and regroup, make some sort of adjustments, try and come out. You know, second half for them, they got to look for consistency and some small victories. Find some things that they can hang their hat on, start doing right. Just first downs, just some consistency in offense. They've just been all over the map, and really nothing has worked.
Well, I think for the Prairie Wolf faithful that are here in attendance of today's game, you have to be pleased with what you've seen, not just from the defense, but what from the offense has been able to do against Briarcliff. And obviously, a big first half all around for Nebraska Wesleyan. 38-0, Prairie Wolves ahead of Briarcliff.
Bad.
Let's head down to the field really quick. Check with John Thayer, who's with Coach Keller.
Coach, in that first half, your team doing it in every way they can, offensively, defensively, special teams, all happening the right way for you in the first half.
Absolutely. You know, to get a touchdown on the first play of the game is tremendous. And Brett making a great play, and that just kind of set the tempo. And, you know, the hard part now is keep guys on top of things and just executing. And just we got to get their minds off scoreboard and just executing.
You mentioned keep guys on top of things, get their mind off the scoreboard. What do you tell them at halftime to try to keep them focused on what they need to do in the second half?
Well, I just got to talk about, you know, get back to their pride and their ability and wanting to do things well. Plus, if we start working in some young guys, I know they're going to want to do well, and I think that we'll be fine.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
At halftime, we are at halftime, 38-0, Nebraska Wesleyan ahead of Briarcliff on 21 Sports.
After landing a new job, where she barely made it to the interview on time, in a rental car, paid for with money that was transferred to her account in seconds after her old car broke down, with a simple call to Ryan at Union Bank, who took care of everything and got Sarah on her way. At the right bank, a real solution is just a phone call away, and the right bank starts with the right people.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the winter, you can save 3 to 5% in energy savings? 3 to 5%. So the question is, how low can you go? How low can... I'm okay. So visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more money and energy saving tips. Until next time, thanks for watching.